Welcome to the P- module. And this is where we're setting up and characterizing the production constraints that we will use to analyze in the particular production domain that you are analyzing. There are 8 different categories of production constraints that you might consider. And they are soil, organic resources, crop genetics, tillage and establishment, pests, weeds and diseases, water management, the cropping system, and harvest. So you'll be asked in this first line of category to choose from the drop-down menu from each of those 8 and an other category. But we really hope that you shouldn't need to use that other category. Once you choose from one of the categories, you'll be asked to then identify the subcategory that you're talking about. So in this case, if we come here and we select soil, what we can then do is choose from the options that relate to soil, which are shown here. Likewise with the organic resources, when we come over, we will see organic resources has 2 options, which are the 2 options here. Once you've entered 5, you can then, if you don't have more, you can analyze up to 10, but you need to analyze at least 5. Once you're done, you simply put NA and that will close out the category and not request any more information. So we're taking category, subcategory, and most importantly is then the definitions, notes, or details on that production constraint. So this element is not optional. We really need some parameters that talk about the production constraint. And that's again because we want to cross-validate, we want to have an understanding of when you discussed something, what did you mean? So really put as much detail as you can into that box around what do we mean when we talk about runoff and soil erosion as a production constraint? What do we mean when we talked about unbalanced fertilizer use? Is there a particular nutrient, like is it a lack of P or a lack of N or a lack of K, or is it the timing, or what is it about it that we need to understand? And of course, as always, we've got our explanatory notes at the bottom. So what were the discussions that it had? What were the areas that we're concerned about, that we're missing? Why was something there or not there that we need to work with? You'll also see that when you select something, it will go green up the top. So you start to get an understanding of what you've selected, and say you've just got a lot of green boxes in soil, it might mean that you might need to drop some of those and consider some of these other production constraints so that you've got a little bit of a diversity. So this is what we're doing when we're setting up PAICE. We're telling it which production constraints do we want to analyze, both as constraining the system and adapting to when we talk about adaptation options.